Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. One more day. Let's get right to it. Mm, Open up your Baja apps. Let's go to government bonds. US 10-year yield, government bond. In the green range of 0.27%, 4.1661. That's a buy in my book. I like that. 1 year is up 0.30%. 5 year is up 0.32%, 3.65. Let's go, baby. Um, Before we start, get everything together. Okay, so open up your Hyper Scientific, open up your simulator. We're gonna continue with Wealth of Nations. Um, Open up your Learn Business Management. Um, let's do linear algebra. Um, Go Dominican newspapers. We're going to take today's final exam backwards. Official test start time 2 minutes, 5 pages, 5 paragraphs each, 5 sentences, each paragraph, 5 words per sentence, 5 computer spaces in between, 5 revisions. Show the work. You can use your hyper scientific, you can use artificial intelligence, but you must show the work. If you do not show the work, I'm going to assume you use only technology, you will get zero credit. That means no prom, no graduation, no letters of intent, no internships at any Fortune 500 companies. That means you don't graduate. Um, Go Listín Diario, Go Salud, which is health, Go Tecnología, which is technology, and we do have an article there. Excellent. Go Google News, Go Technology. TechCrunch will be today's sponsor. Um, this should be everything. So let's start with the Dominican newspaper. Santiago, Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, Puerto Plata, La Romana, Barahona, eh, Higüey, Bonao, Maimón, mm, todo eso lado, el país entero. Listín Diario, República Dominicana. Trump y Xi se mostraron satisfechos tras conseguir avances en el acuerdo durante una llamada telefónica, donde también trataron de acercar posiciones en temas comerciales. Agencia EFE, Washington, Estados Unidos. El presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, aseguró este viernes que un acuerdo con China para que la red social TikTok pueda seguir funcionando en el país está en camino. Después de haber conversado durante casi 2 horas con el presidente chino Xi Jinping. Agencia EFE. Not bad, not a bad starter. So now let's go back to the markets. Gold in the green 1.11%, 3,684.94 an ounce. Silver in the green 2.92%, 43.04. Platinum in the green 1.54%, 1,413.92 an ounce. Palladium in the Red Ranger 0.81, 1,137.95. Copper 3M in the green, baby, 0.49%, 9,989 even. Um, let's go back to the price of lumber in the red, 1.13%. That means they're not building more houses. 567.5 thousandths of a penny. 5 thousandths of a penny. All right. Let us continue. Let's go to indices. S&P 100 index in the green, 0.72%, 3,327.47. That is a buy in my book. This is not financial advice. Make investments based on your own risk tolerance and market perspective. Um, S&P TSX 60 in Canada in the green, 1.05%, 1,761.78. S&P Merval Index in the Red Ranger, 0.68%, 1,683,959.92. That's big pimping right there. Okay, let us continue. ETF, Spider S&P 500 in the green, 0.22%, $663.70. Invest QQQ Trust Series 1, 0.31%, 597 and 1,004. Let me see, 1,400 of a penny. See what would be a good core. Okay. Good morning, Dios lo bendiga. Buenos días. Okay, Gemini was the last news. Let's go tech. Microsoft announces new Xbox price hike in the United States. Microsoft Corporation announced Friday that it will raise the recommended retail prices of its Xbox consoles in the United States starting October 3rd, citing changes in the macroeconomic environment. This marks the second adjustment since May. The Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte model will move to $399.99, while the 1 terabyte version rises to $449.99. The Series X Digital remains at $599.99, and the standard Series X increases to $649.99. A new 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Special Edition will launch at $799. So that's the one that I want. So I figured out with the Meta and Ray-Ban and Oakley collaboration, the Vanguards, the base models are $499, but the fully loaded is the $799. And the fully loaded has 128 gigs, but they're making me buy that one first. Then I have to wait all the way to October to get the Vanguards. The Vanguards, V. The Vanguards is official. Now, by comparison, you know, that's the price of an Xbox. I'm paying for one pair of glasses the price of an Xbox. And the new one, 2 terabytes. That's amazing, yo. 2 terabytes. That's 2,000 gigs, yo. Unbelievable. Let us continue. ByteDance. Thanks Trump and Xi for their focus on TikTok. ByteDance, one of my business partners, the parent company of TikTok, thanked Chinese President Xi Jinping and US President Donald Trump for their efforts to keep TikTok in the United States. We thank President Xi Jinping and President Donald J. Trump for their efforts to preserve TikTok in the United States. ByteDance will work in accordance with applicable laws to ensure TikTok remains available to American users through TikTok US, the firm said on Friday. Earlier, Trump took to Truth Social to claim that he and Xi made progress on a TikTok deal and pledged to meet in person in South Korea in less than a month as part of the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference. The leaders of the two biggest economies in the world would meet face to face for the first time since the United States president took office again. Porsche to delay release of some all electric models. Porsche AG Group revealed in a press release on Friday that the release of some of its all electric vehicle models will be postponed due to the delayed ramp up of electric mobility. In particular, the development of the planned new platform for electric vehicles in the 2030s is to be rescheduled. The platform is to be technologically redesigned in coordination with other brands within the Volkswagen Group, the company explained, adding that this is its response to slowing growth in demand for exclusive battery electric cars. Despite the circumstances, the car maker assured its customers that it will continue to update its existing all electric model range. Talking about finances, Porsche unveiled that for the entire fiscal 2025, it still expects the sales revenue to be between 37 billion euros and 38 billion euros. Porsche Auto MHLDG is in the red 0.14%, the Red Ranger 35.15. China's Xi. United States should avoid trade restrictive measures. This is as of yesterday. Chinese President Xi Jinping urged the United States to refrain from unilateral trade measures during his phone call with American President Donald Trump, while asking for the country to avoid undermining outcomes from recent talks, Xinhua reported. China's position on TikTok is clear. The Chinese government respects the wishes of firms. The agency cited Xi as saying, China welcomes negotiations with the United States on TikTok based on market rules and a balance of interests, he added. Xi said he hopes the United States will provide a fair business environment for Chinese companies, while also reminding that China will not forget U.S. support during World War II. Google to appeal Department of Justice decision on advertising technology. For my students studying digital marketing and distribution, please pay attention. For my finance majors, these are some of my business partners. Therefore, these are publicly traded companies, and we have millions of dollars invested directly and indirectly into the technology and the company. So I want you guys to write about that. Tell me your perspective, please. Google LLC said on Friday that it does not agree with the United States Department of Justice decision in the company's advertising technologies case, adding that it will file an appeal on Monday. Department of Justice proposed changes go far beyond the court's liability decision and the law and risk harming businesses across the country. Google stressed in a blog post. The tech company insisted that the Department of Justice requires Google to divest its acquisitions, although a court ruled that they did not harm the competition. It also emphasized that its proposal to use ad managers' interoperability to let publishers use third party tools to access the company's advertiser bids in real time fully addresses the court's ruling. We've said from the start that Department of Justice case misunderstands how digital advertising works. Let me just chime in. Having an auction system in real time is the key to our success for all my business partners. Getting the remedies right in this new environment will be key to addressing concerns without breaking what's working, and we look forward to making our case in court, Google concluded. Alphabet C in the green 1.15%, 255.24. Alphabet A in the green 1.07%, 254.72. OpenAI set to invest 100 billion in backup servers. OpenAI Incorporated is looking to spend an additional 100 billion on renting backup servers in the next 5 years. They have such a huge budget. They can buy only but so much. They have to rent the ones that they can't buy because they're not in production. You understand me? Think about logistics, but think about how much money they have to invest. 100 billion in the backup for the technology. So what's the true value of the company? That's a $10 trillion valuation. For my students, do the math. That's very important that you figure out why that math works the way that it does. So 100 billion is the insurance. 100 billion is the insurance policy. When you're building an investment, this is the mentality that you need to have. You need to understand these concepts because you need to appeal to those people that will be investors in your company. You need to make sure that you do good business. You need to know financing, what's going to be the liability, what's the time frame, etc. How much taxes are due. The lawyer's telling me 8, 9 months, 10 months. But what happens around that time frame, we have to pay taxes again. We just pay taxes. The bigger the company, the more you produce, the higher your taxes. You can only write off for so many things. You can only write off for so many things. The rest, guess what? You got to pay taxes. I pay 56, 57%. How much do you pay in your tax bracket? What's the time frame? Could you invest in a business based on demographics? How would it impact your industry, your trade, your product, your service, your franchise, your brand? All those things are important to take into consideration. And this is just renting. Renting means line of credit. Renting means you don't have the money to buy it cash. So that says more on a personal level than on the business realm. And this is over the next 5 years, so 20 billion per year. On top of the 350 billion already anticipated to be used on server rentals by 2030. So let's do these numbers. 2030 is 5 years away. They already have 350 billion already anticipated, right? They already invested this. Now this is an additional 100 billion. So total investment as far as expenses thus far for this quarter is $450 billion. That's just what they spent and invested in this quarter. So imagine when an investor is trying to give you a headache and you're explaining to an investor, listen, we have almost $500 billion invested. We cannot have a phone call every week, every month. This is not how it works. Yet you have some investors that have issues deep within inside themselves that will invest and then harass you the entire process of the development of whatever the investment is. So now you bring in that energy to an investment. How can you expect the investment to be able to develop and grow? Because the toughest stage is the very beginning. The very beginning of the investment is when everything has to be there so that it can grow naturally and organically. To get to quantum growth, I only build successful businesses. That's my art, that's my superpower, that's my strength. What is yours? What examples can you share with the collective? You have to think as a company. We're all part of a company. We're all part of a portfolio. We're all part of an investment. And our goal, our aim, and our desire is only for ultimate success of that portfolio. We are being entrusted with that portfolio to take that portfolio past the moon. Most investors right now, they want an investment to go to the moon and back. Sometimes you have to invest to go past the moon. That's your Berkshire Hathaway right there. That's your Warren Buffett. That after 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they're like, yo, he's the best. During the cumulative years, they didn't see that growth and development. So it's important when you're going into, let's say, a negotiation, and you have to factor in that these people may not understand that your level of intelligence and education is not at the level, is above. It's on a different spectrum. I had a conversation with one of my clients yesterday where we discussed the fact that for me, I'm Hispanic, right? But my family's from Europe and I've traveled the world my entire life. I'm dark skinned. I put hot sauce on hot sauce. Valentino, Tapatio, Cholula. And anything else in between, like a Louisiana hot sauce, whatever. I'm willing to give it an opportunity, but I'm a Yankees fan. So it's the stereotype. Oh, but I'm Dominican. Oh, but I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, but I'm French. Oh, but I'm Spanish. Oh, but this, but that. I used to be Muslim. I'm Jewish, but I'm a Jew for Jesus. I tell people that from the beginning to see if they understand, and most people just don't understand. But this is the reality, right? So for my business partners all over the world, what does it come down to? Consulting and raising venture capital. I had a conversation with a young man yesterday who just started a business. One conversation, here's the blueprint, go do it. I guarantee you that person is working on their business right now as we speak. 7:07 a.m. East Coast time. Always on time. So why is this crucial that I have this discussion with my alumni as well as my business partners, my family members, my colleagues? This is like it's a mandatory um, family meeting, company meeting to really have a sense of the direction that we're going in. So you know what that means? My granddaughter is live right now and she's listening and she owns the company and I work for her. So I have to make every investment decision perfect for her future. This is not my company anymore. I'll be 43 October 17th. 27 wives, 27 children, over 27 grandchildren. I'm 43. But every investment decision that I make is going to impact her future and my family's future, which just happens to be uh, very toxic. I like to live a private life and I like to be distanced from everything. If I'm going to have a business partner, they need to understand those things. There's going to be rules and parameters. You can't just call me every single day. You can't just, I want to have a business meeting every day. I can't just do 24 business meetings a day. I have to do it every day. I own the company. Well, my granddaughter owns the company. If everything goes good, it's my fault. If everything goes bad, it's my fault. I'm responsible for everything, the whole thing. The portfolio extremely well diversified since the late 80s, early 90s. I've been investing and building this portfolio for over 30 years. Most people still don't understand. They think that I'm going to approach this investment in any other format other than technology. I am not approaching this investment in any other format other than technology. And you see the competitors are already on the market. So these are definitely on the way. I have multiple designs too. So, how do you proceed when a potential business partner day one showcases things that I know in the foreseeable future I'm going to have issues with? Then to know that the amount that's available is very low ball for what I'm doing. And I understand that they're a budding company, they're a company that's being built, that's building up. And I'm willing to work with them, but to what extent? I have to come in as an owner, not as a business partner. I had no idea this person was part of the ownership, but still wants to invest. But I already see what was the move business wise. She started in a few places and built one thing and then built something else and then is building something else and now wants to build with me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I see a pattern here. Even though I know I have proprietary technology, there's nothing anybody can do about that because everything is protected where it needs to be protected. You know what I'm saying? Um, but now it makes me question the additional business partner that brought the opportunity to me because how do you proceed without hurting anybody's feelings and still making the best decision for the future and the longevity of all of my descendants? Because this is how you build wealth. I built riches since I was very, very young, but I've been building wealth for the last few decades, which is different because in the beginning, you cannot see that 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of growth will then become quantum. So it's like kind of like a rubber band, boom, boom, you pull it back and then boom. So in the beginning, you start a business, product, service, industry, or trade, and you're facing all these challenges, right? There's only two entryways: consulting, raising venture capital. You can be an excellent entrepreneur, but if you're horrible at raising capital, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem. So it's not just finding venture capital. There's money all over the world. There's money and billions of people that they want to invest in a reliable, trustable, transparent, clear source, especially when you're dealing with intellectual property that is of the future. But it's selecting the correct investment, the correct people. I don't even think I want many people in this trust fund. I want to deal with maybe one or two people. That's it. Anything above that, let my corporate arm handle it and let their corporate arm handle it and let them negotiate and do business. But the older I get, the more I reserve the time, and I want this time for my granddaughter. Within the next few weeks, few months, 24/7, it's going to be about my granddaughter. I don't care about anything else. I've been working my whole life for this, and I can't wait. Sometimes I get impatient, you know, I'm hyper competitive, so I'm always driven. I'm always the new investment, the new investment. I pay attention to the markets. Look how the vanguards are coming online. Very impressed with Meta. Very impressed with the company. Very impressed with the investment. Very good investment too. You know, it's an amazing thing. So One of my mentees reached out to me. Shout out to you, V. I know you're watching. And I got your back. Wakanda forever. All right. Um, we were unable to have a Discord. And I'm like, you know what? It has been a busy week and it's been filled with progress and drama and things like that. Once you're able to see that and just eliminate the drama, you could focus on building all the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could focus on all the good stuff. And again, everything comes down to what you're willing to put into things. Before we continue, because I wanted to give you guys like a moment of reflection, right? Um, go to your marketplace. It could be OpenSea, Rarible, or any combination thereof. It could be the Google Play Store, or it could be the iTunes Store. I don't know if that's what it's called, whatever. But search Brian Tracy. 21 Success Secrets open for today. Let's find number 20. Oh, wait a minute. This is horrible. I closed the app and it gave me a commercial. Okay. That's how the program produces, but that's okay. All right. Um. Okay. So here we go. That we could get things into perspective, and then we could do a reflection afterward. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. The fear of failure is the greatest single obstacle to success in adult life. That's the key and the clue. That's the golden master key. Success comes in adulthood. Everything before is pretending. You're just learning, right? Um, I don't want to go into the controversies, but I could, and I will have a lot to say. Just giving you that example. Note that it is not failure itself. Failure makes you stronger and more resilient and more determined. It is the fear of failure or the anticipation of failure that can paralyze your thoughts and your activities to hold you back from even trying to do the things that you need to do to be a big success. A young journalist once asked Thomas J. Watson Sr., the founder of IBM, how he could be more successful faster. Watson replied with these wonderful words: if you want to be successful faster, you must double your rate of failure. If you want to be successful faster, you must double your rate of failure. Did you guys hear that? I'm going to say it again. If you want to be successful faster, you must, it's a rule, it's mandatory. You must double your rate of failure. Success lies on the far side of failure. Success lies on the far side of failure. Dare to go forward. Self made millionaires, decabillionaires, decatrillionaires are not gamblers, but they are always willing to take calculated risks in the direction of their goals to achieve greater rewards. In fact, your attitude toward risk taking is probably the most important indicator of your readiness to become wealthy. Whenever you are faced with a risky situation, ask yourself this question: what is the worst possible thing that could happen if I go ahead? Then, as J. Paul Getty, the self made oil billionaire, said, you should make sure that whatever it is, it doesn't happen. The fact is that everyone is afraid of failure. Everyone is afraid of loss and poverty. Everyone is afraid of making a mistake and being set back. But self made millionaires are those who consciously and deliberately face this year and take action anyway. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, make a habit throughout your life of doing the things you fear. If you do the thing you fear, the death of fear is certain. When you act boldly, unseen forces will come to your aid, and every act of courage increases your courage and capacity for courage in the future. Whenever you take action in a forward direction with no guarantees of success, your fears diminish and your courage and self confidence increase. You will eventually reach the point where you are not afraid of anything. Perhaps the best line from the movie Apollo 13 came from Eugene Kranz, head of mission control at NASA. When the people around him were starting to think about the possibility of losing the spacecraft and the astronauts, he pulled them all together by announcing in a loud voice, failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Repeat after me. It helps if you say it. Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Never has been an option, never will be an option. Absolutely whatsoever. United States, Department of Defense, Department of War, Homeland Security, AFIS, Air Force, Space Force. G.I. Joe forever, baby. Space Force forever, baby. Um, Failure is not an option. Your job is to commit yourself to becoming a self made millionaire. Your job is to set specific goals for yourself, write them down, and work towards them every day. Spe- Set specific goals for yourself, write them down, and work towards them every day. And especially, you must continue to remind yourself, in the face of all the problems and difficulties that you will experience, that failure is not an option. This is the attitude that more than anything else will guarantee your long term success. Action exercise. Identify one major fear in your life, for example, failure, criticism, or disapproval, and resolve to act as if the fear did not exist. Imagine that you were guaranteed success if you would only take action in the direction of your goals and dreams. Then just do it. I'm rocking my Kobe Bryant Nikes. Holla. All right. So we will begin the second part of the warm up for our workout. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back We'll be at the yacht club very shortly. God bless. So I'll link up back with you guys when I'm on my yacht. God bless. See you in a few minutes. Then I'm taking, this is for today. See how it matches? Just for today. This is my sabbatical joint. You know what I mean? This is like me and my granddaughter. You know, a little booster seat. Put her in. Boom. Put the seatbelt on. Turn off the airbags, of course, in the front because you know it's a baby. And drive. Then I use the technology for her to see everywhere we're driving. Everywhere we drive, yo. So uh, I'm learning how to be an excellent grandfather. So changing diapers, all that stuff, I'm learning all that stuff. I'm pretty good, but I need to get better. So I leave y'all with that. God bless. See y'all in the next one. May you have an amazing day today. May you conquer everything in your path. May everything that you touch turn into solid gold. Always remember to dream big because dreams come true. It happened to me, and I know for a fact it's going to happen to you. I'll see y'all in a little bit, all right? God bless.